I'm live here. One second. We're live in the Speakeasy Saloon. All right, I'm also live streaming for the first 5 or 10 minutes at my Telegram, just because I have it now on my phone. So if you guys on the Telegram want to watch this, unauthorized.tv, there's no better time to join that than right now because we just fixed a lot of bugs and there's a lot of great features. You can go from video to audio seamlessly now. The payment processor is great. You get instant access and unlike before. You can gift subscriptions. It's listen in a lock screen. There's very soon we will have our own chat there. So definitely check that out. Today I'm going to do maybe an hour. And then I have to, I'm going to split it up. I'm going to do a morning stream with a focused topic and then an evening stream with mail and some piano. I'm going to try a new idea here. All right. So I'm going to end the Telegram one right now. I just want to let you, me and Cant were just testing to see if it works. So we're in the Speakeasy Saloon, the Unbearables private chat on Telegram. And, you can watch this live at unauthorized.tv, and we have some sneaky ones too in case you're not at unauthorized. But you can always watch this later at bitchute.com/OwenBenjamin. All right, let me leave my own little live stream here. I got a good one for you today, guys. So I asked my Bertaria Times group what they wanted me to talk about, and there was like a few hundred awesome ideas. And overall, you guys like it when I break stuff down, when I give you gravy, comedy, just all the stuff that we're going to do. And a lot of topics I can look into in the future. But today we're going to talk about Black Santa. Jordan Peterson watches his own parody. Barricade Garage has some words about me. Black Reddit. Apparently Reddit, there's also one for blacks. Audio is better, definitely better on UA. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff on UA. Vox has been killing it. The Irish Bear Meetup, I want to show you guys a song from there. Crystalia just did a joke that sounds oddly familiar. Keanu Reeves is definitely... Neil deGrasse Tyson has been trying to his own mirror for years. And a teaser to a new song by... Olive Tree Bear. Who else did it with Olive Tree Bear? It was, Old Wise Bear and Olive Tree Bear. Let's start off with the song. This is just a teaser to the new song. It's a hot track, and we're going to be using it for the documentary, obviously. So enjoy this as you guys come in.
Too strong to carry on in a black mirror, as I'm a seer, and I fear that the truth is unwelcome there anyway. A power down all around if you're ready to hear. It's so clear, you'll be freer. Step out of your cloud with me today, 'cause there's a world out there. Touch of dirt upon your feet and hear the breeze of water in the stream. This place of grace is me believing here. I am untouchable. You can tell them they can't cancel me. Horizons painted with the glory. Realm so full of majesty. This place of grace is me believing here. I am untouchable. You can tell the gamma's for me.
Must be nice. It really is nice. When people say must be nice, I'm like, it is. So here is a little homesteading for you guys. Amy gives some tips about how to get eggs in the winter, because eggs in the winter is not as easy as you think it is. So here's my beautiful wife discussing it. All right, love, tell me about the eggs.
So this is less than 24 hours for all those eggs.
Wow, and that's in the middle of the winter. What's the secret to your success?
Well, the clean coop, and then we did put a coop light in. Just, you want to show them?
Yeah.
I had heat lamps in here, and it was cold last winter, and I just took the bulbs out and put in normal and it's on a timer for 12 hours a day. And
Yeah.
I think it increased their egg production significantly.
Great
They're all
job.
a lot happier too.
Yeah, oh, look, some more bunnies.
I gave them a little food.
Oh, cool. And all the goats seem happy. Everybody's adjusting to their winter wonderland. Look at these goofballs. I love how the goats run. They run like sideways. Now we feed the roosters?
Yep.
All right, so I wanted to always keep you guys updated on that stuff because sometimes I forget. But we weren't getting eggs for like 2 weeks as our chickens were growing their must-be-nice coats for winter. And so, yeah, let's see. How's it all going? Might be nice to have a hen house. All right, might be nice. So again, I'm going to be doing a stream again tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm going to break it up to have an hour in the morning so I can be more interactive with my kids' music and stuff that they do during the day. And I just think it'll be better for the stream too. And then the evening, I'll do more of like a male piano hang session. So if you want to send me mail, P.O. Box 490 Sandpoint, Idaho 83864. That way I can like spend more time on it. I don't feel like I have to like bang through stuff. Cod, hit me with the entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy, and then I will show you guys some really, really funny stuff. Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you guys for these super chats. Thanks for the streams and being an inspiration to get my shit together. Letter coming soon. Does this mean I'm now fully dedicated against 18? You're not fully. You have every 3 months you need to boost up. entropystream.live/app/Owen Benjamin Comedy. Jacob, good name, by the way. I keep, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but we're talking names the other day. Jacob's definitely a good name. Listening almost daily for a year now. What's your take on Russell Brand, Shill or Genuine from a Brit living in Spain? Thanks for the gravy. Definitely Shill. I mean, he's so under the dragon's wing. He might be fun to hang with, but he seems real, I don't know. I have no interest in Russell Brand. I think he's like Truth or Light, where he can give you a little bit where it's like, hello, everybody. They're all people that do things behind the scenes. Anyway, I'm going to go F. Katy Perry again. So I'm not judging the guy. You're not going to get anything worthwhile from that guy. No way. Green sleeves, please. Let's hear some Wolfgang. That will be this evening. I'll do piano. Stream 1276. In some respects, I'm grateful to Trunk and Key. It showed me my own fallen state and that I should have accepted faith in God only. Yeah, totally. If you see it that way, then definitely. Like my Hollywood career has been hugely beneficial to me now. But the thing about some of these Q Trunk people is like, they're not even admitting it's not valid anymore. It'd be like if I was like, oh no, Hollywood's great. They're doing really great stuff. They have to manipulate and lie, because they're doing so much good stuff. That's what I'm mocking. Going through the process is fine. Not only is it fine, it's what had to happen, and obviously. The Trunk Q stuff, like believing in that stuff and then seeing it all the way through is all part of the journey, man. And, I'm not against that. I used to be repped at CAA with a sitcom on TBS. It's like, I get it. I thought it was great at the time. Looking back, I don't. But I can admit it's not good. The problem I have with some of these Q people is they're like, no, Big Bear, it's just the beginning. My pillow guy is going to swing in and put everyone to sleep with his beautiful pillows. We don't need to get into it, but yeah, totally. Trunk is a sellout. There is no worldly savior. It was great for me spiritually, accepting that. Yeah. And that's a big lesson. I've totally had that. Guys, I used to look up to Joe Rogan in an almost unhealthy way. Like how a lot of people looked up to Trunk. I was like, Joe Rogan is like an honest guy in entertainment. He stood up for the common comedian when Carlos Mencia was stealing jokes. And I was like, he will save comedy. I swear to God, guys. Like looking back, it's a joke given what I know now about Joe Rogan. But that's all part of the plan. The key is to not hate them. Like, I don't hate Joe Rogan. I actually root for him in some ways. I think he's better than Sanjay Gupta. And I don't even, I'm not even mad that he gatekept me or any of that shit, because it forced me to make my own stuff. I don't think he was aware of all the benefits that were happening as he was like gatekeeping me, but you know, I'm glad he is alive. Grocer Bear says, Big Bear, I need some more gravy for my egg foo young. These rollerblades are getting itchy. Do you have high socks too? Well, I'm glad you super chatted. You sound like you're on the verge. Powers that Bear, from Thursday's stream, could blood sacrifice events be satanic sinks, aka synchronicity with the devil? Yes, I think so. And thanks for that super chat. I think that is very, very possible. Where sometimes they just happen based on people's will. And I don't even think that there's like a back room that plans it. Sometimes I think there is. I know actual sacrifices exist, like that grabbler from 1666, who said you honor God by doing the opposite, and he got like 1 million grabblers to follow him. It was like the upside down synagogue. Levi or Zavi or Zeva Ba Zavi, I don't remember his name, but those guys do that stuff. But I think most of the time it just has to do with the way you're living your life and your will and all that. Our Louisiana Black Bear, getting my booster for the weekend. Good. I know how you guys roll too. That whole down low situation in Louisiana. Oh, by the way, there was a bear meetup in Louisiana, and Crow's co-host, Crow 777's co-host, was texting me how great it was. He went, Jason Lingram, and he said that the people were awesome, and him and Rose went and said that it was just a blast. So keep doing these bear meetups, and I'm so glad that people doing them are such good guys, because it makes me look good. My people are good. Atomic Bombshell, God bless you, Big Bear, and family. Love from Proverbs 31 Bear and Viking Dad. Awesome. Here's to hoping I can dedicate 50 square feet just to celery soon, because celery salt is the shit. I probably eat half my body weight in celery salt each month. Nice. We can't say God. I already read those other ones. Okay, now let's get to what I was going to talk about. Thank you, God. If anybody, I will do one more super chat reading in like maybe 45 minutes. I'm trying to stay according to time, but we all know it never happens. Sabata Levy. That's his name, yeah. And then another grabbler took his position in the 19th century. Awesome meetup in Louisiana. Yeah. And Jason Lingram texted me. He's like, dude, this is incredible what you guys are doing. All right. So, Black Santa. As we all know, Black Santa will be delighting children at Disney parks for the first time in history. We actually got a closer look at Black Santa, and here he is. And he's coming for the bikes. All right. Jordan Peterson's trying to get in with the blacks, as you can see here, awkwardly standing next to one. He really posted that. Look how uncomfortable he looks. Standing next to a bee in riding boots. But hey, whatever his master wants, right? Speaking of Jordan Peterson, it turns out he watches Jim Bob do impressions of him. As you can see here, Jordan B. Peterson has been watching Jim Bob do his impression, which brings me to my final point. Has anyone seen Jim Bob and Jordan Peterson in the same room? I haven't. Oh, yeah, totally. Look at this. Look at Jordan. Jordan's all dressed up nice for his handlers because he's about to get Peterson. All right. Speaking of white privilege, here's Shaquille O'Neal, the ultimate baby boomer. Shaquille O'Neal wants his kids to earn their way. We ain't rich. I'm rich. Which brings me to my point. Something that my community understands, I think, a little bit better than his is generational wealth. So privilege in certain communities comes from knowing that you have generational wealth, that the wealth you acquire gets passed on to your children so they can, grow the family, grow the legacy, grow the businesses. And some people, all these baby boomers are like, no, they got to earn it themselves. You fool. The baby boomers' money came off the backs of their parents whose wealth came off the backs of their parents as they kept struggling and building better lives for their ungrateful little pissant kids. And so Shaq, you know, he's like, no, I get to buy the golden bananas. And so that is a point I wanted to make, because you would see a lot more power and wealth in certain groups of people if they understood that you're not spoiling your kids by having succession. That's what kings do, guys. It's spoiling your kids to not discipline them or give them a moral backbone for their life. But to have money and wealth and opportunity for your moral, disciplined children, that's how they take it to the next level. And then the next level until you have an established, rooted family. And so this black baby boomer here, Shaquille O'Neal, is like, ain't nobody touching my... But we all are in the same boat in certain ways, guys. Lift up your bee. Lift up the bees. As you can see here, I'm sure glad the hole isn't in our end as everyone's just dumping water out. Don't get me wrong. This mostly doesn't represent the bees or anything. It represents the quote-unquote parasitic elites that think that the common man that keep their lights on and their bathrooms flushing has to struggle with the inflation or whatever. I don't think it's inflation, by the way. I think it's supply chain breakdown, perceived inflation to bring in the digital dollar. That's my little conspiracy theory, but for all intents and purposes, it appears to be inflation. And it's not, and I know that money printing equals inflation, but the real deal is the fractional reserve banking. You know, the government printing $6 trillion doesn't matter as much as you think it does. It's the $2,000 trillion from bank loans. And a lot of banks aren't going to be able to give out those lines of credit, which is why I actually see a deflationary event, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. Food, gas, all the things that people like us are greatly affected by. These elites, these fake elites call us deplorable, but yet where are the reasons they have running, not me personally, I'm terrible at plumbing, but I am I'm a morale booster and an entertainer of the men, and I mean men who keep the lights on. And there are wonderful women who keep the children sane and healthy and growing. And so I can say we, because I am the jester of the people that matter in America. The globalist elites are like, well, they're struggling, and the struggle is going to get even more. And they don't think it's going to affect them. And the thing is, it's going to affect them more than us because they don't have any skills. I actually got the word on the street as Barricade Garage had some... Oh, that's going to be sweet. Hang on a second. Had some words to say about the Big Bear. And as you know, I do ruffle the feathers of the bees. So our very own Barricade Garage has some commentary on the Big Bear.
Like some things I think of that go ahead and say.
Oh, real quick for the censorship board. He's an N-word, so he gets to say it. So before you shut down my stream, just know, have your little robots do an analysis. Check out his skin, okay? So when he says the N-word, he can say it because he's an N-word. I'm not the one saying it. So I know your algorithms are going to get triggered, but it's not coming out of my beautiful white mouth. I would never touch a word like that. Come on. It's only for the N's. So before you shut off the stream, know that it's an N saying it. Thank you. I would never lower myself to the level of N.
And some shit I've said, if I listen, he done said the same shit. It's kind of freaky. Even though that feels like I stole his bike. I fed me. As a matter of fact, can somebody please get his bike back? Is they out there with a bike, they can just give that. Shout out to him though. That Tim Dillon shit, that shit was funny.
Okay, so to sum up real quick, he gets to call me the N because he's an N. And me and him have a synchronicity. We both kind of come up with similar ideas without any idea that the other is doing it. It's very interesting. And he knows someone stole my bike. He's pretending like he didn't know. Guys, he's pretending that they all didn't tell. Like, they squeal with delight when they do it. So he might not have been the end that did it, but he knows who did it because they all called each other that day. They're like, yo, barricade. I was up here in Oswego, New York. I just got one of their bikes. He's like, oh, and they all felt this incredible, like when they steal bikes, they get synchronicity. They all kind of just know it. Like little pubic hairs stand on the back of their necks. Barricade Garage crosses. Yeah. So again, for the censorship board, he's an N-word. So he gets to call me an N-word. I never said N-word. So before you take this down off your platform, just know that my beautiful, pure, white skin never said the N-word because I'm not an N-word, okay? And he did just give me a shout out for how I eviscerated Tim Dillon and his big fat G-word ass. He's an S-word. But again, let's listen to this again. Barricade is an N-word. I am not the one who's saying it. For those of you that have been vaccine damaged, I'm not, I don't believe that at all because I don't think that barricade is one and I'm not. That's crazy. And I won't allow myself to be censored based on my skin color. All right? So just know that it's hearted. Thank you.
Some things I think of that go ahead and say, and some shit I've said, if I listen, he done said the same shit. It's kind of freaky. Even though it feels like I stole his bike. I didn't. As a matter of fact, can somebody please get his bike back? Is there out there with a bike they can just give that? Shout out to him though. That Tim Dillon shit, that shit was funny.
And the thing about Tim Dillon is we're not supposed to mock Tim Dillon because we aren't F words. And by F word, I mean, and there's something about the bees that I relate to a lot because apparently there's something called Black Reddit. This is a gentleman I had not heard of, but I totally get it after watching this video. His name is Tommy Sotomayor. And he has a similar Reddit situation, except it's Black Reddit. Here we go.
Yeah. Bannon probably saw.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go again. Everybody listen. So for the bots out there censoring me, he's saying the N-word, not me in this situation. So don't ban me because N-words get to say N-word because of their black. Thank you. Again, don't shut off my feed because I'm not an N-word. I am I'm a white. And so it's a privilege, to be what I am. And I know I get it. Listen, I get it. I look like some sort of angel compared to these people. Right? Like, even at dusk, they just look like floating smiles. What do I look like? An angel. If I wasn't wearing clothes, you would say, hey, there's an angel with kind of a dad bod. And I'd be like, oh, someone else you want to. And they're like, man, you're like an angel that looks like he eats too much of his wife's fees. And I'd be like, yeah, I do. And then you'd look at the bees and you'd be like, you get to say N-word because I can't even see your body because it's like kind of dark out. But this guy's a light supremacist. Look at him. He looks like an angel came right down from the metaverse. Anyway, I relate to this.
Crime in America. Barack Obama says you want to ban guns, which can't work without somebody using them. You could ban actually have free thought and actually go around ruining it.
Okay, I'm not the one saying we need to ban, okay? It's someone, it's an N saying it. I'm just relaying. Anyway, let's listen to this genius talk.
One's life. Right now, I'm dealing with a group of who with me all day. But they don't stop any crime in there.
Listen, censorship people. I also deal with the, okay? Anyway, listen to Black Reddit.
They don't stop any slappings like this, rapings like this, killings like this. They can't get together online to even help educate children. But they can get together online to try and, with me, to try and destroy everything I built without them. For years, 20 years, 15 years about me. People I knew, people who's in my family.
Listen, Tommy, I got a gang of white Reddit doing exactly the same thing.
Give a shit. Whatever's going on, you didn't have a signboard saying you need to do that right. Now all of a sudden, when a gotten his life together to destroy it, same damn thing you have here.
Tommy, I am dealing with the same group of niggers. My Reddit niggers are just as bad as his. Okay. The most censored attic online. The only time I actually ever censor myself is when my kids are potentially in earshot. All right, so let's since the kids are in earshot, let's check out the Irish event.
Babylon falls, and Gomorrah burns, when the old world drowns, and no one turns, and scoffing gutters, and ridicule abound.
It's amazing to think how a small knot of 7 dudes standing under a pagoda in a Dublin park, talking about their goofy and profound ideas about the nature of reality, could grow so quickly into a tribal gathering of over 50 people in such a short space of time. A short space of time that really feels bizarrely, incredibly, not like a year, but more like 5 years or more. So strange and so cool. We don't know where we will go or how it will grow. Nobody knows what's up ahead or what's around the corner. The only thing we do know about the future is that it belongs to those who show up. And we are going to show up in numbers. Love and prayers to all our Bretarian brothers and sisters across the realm, the Bear Clan. Onward to
And yet we endure. Bottomless of evil lure. We persist in doubtful thought. Heavenly rewards grant us awards. So plant your seed, and as no more light, fill up your ark, and train for a fight. Press on, we must face our Goliath, and we always load our slings, but we can't decide the Father behind. We will one day all be kings.
Isn't that epic? Man, I love those guys. Love. And they can take a joke, too. I'm harder on the Irish than anybody. And they love it. They laugh their ass off. That's why you know they're good guys. Yeah, black gammas are called gammers. They're like, is anybody around here seen one of them gammers? There's black ghetto gammas. And Tommy Sotomayor has faced them down. He's like, why these mess with me now that I'm successful? Because they hate the good, the true, the beautiful, Tommy. They're gammers. Anybody see any gammers around here? Speaking of Keanu Reeves, I was right on the money by calling him there's a Keanu Reeves coloring book. Oh, colorful fantasies with a mysterious hero. Oh, no way. He wouldn't happen to be surrounded by cats, would he? You don't say. A picture of, this has been approved by Keanu Reeves' people, okay? He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cats and no Adam's apple. That's quite interesting. And no kids. I have kids, by the way. Here's my 3 beautiful children of the North from House Bear. Crushing it. Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is my theory. 10 years ago, someone told Neil, and he's been trying ever since with a mirror. You can kiss yourself in the mirror, but only on the lips. 2019. 2013. Just an FYI, in a mirror, you can only kiss yourself on the lips. 2011. For narcissists only, laws of reflection require that if you kiss yourself in a mirror, it will always be on the lips. 2010. Another thought to disturb your restful slumber, especially if you are vain. In a mirror, you can only kiss yourself on the lips. And Neil was like, I'll try with a mirror. And so for the last, every time I move my lips move with them. How you view the sun, moon, and stars from a guy who's been trying to, guys, this guy should be in a home for the insane. All right? Over and over again, he keeps reminding everybody, in a mirror, you can kiss yourself only on the lips. You can kiss yourself in the mirror, but only on the... Dude, this guy, if you get your worldview from this guy, that's pretty much it for me today. So maybe I will open like one thing. Hey, love, is it snowing? What are you thinking? Oh, but I'm the head of the Hayden Planetarium because my IQ is so high at 80. Unbelievable. All right, here's some more super chats. Might be verified as Monkish Bear. Welcome, Monkish Bear. Your story and journey resonates with me, and I am working on a letter to send you to share more with you and the Bears. These are my first 2 super chats, but I need to be definitely super chat away the seminary. Much love and respect, Big Bear. Monkish Bear. Welcome, Monkish Bear. Love you, brother, and I'm inspired by your crushing. I was a Catholic monastery because I wanted to live my life in total dedication to the true, the good, and the beautiful. I was sent to Rome to study, and spell was broken by the corruption and perversion I encountered. I left to start a family and crush for God. Good for you, man. My family has I wouldn't say a lot, but a few people that dedicated their lives to the monastery, and it isn't what it's all cracked up to be, you know? When I was a kid, I remember going to where my parents used to teach, where they met. It was a Benedictine college, Illinois Benedictine college with this monastery. And some of them were cool, but I could tell there was like a darkness there. And that darkness has emerged as being like total hypocrisy, complete Satanism. And so I'm not saying that specific seminary, but in general, the whole deal is just ridiculous. You know, they hunted and pecked and chose based on their whims which part of the Bible they would follow. And now we're seeing the fruit of that poison tree. You know, when Jesus can't save you, only the vaccination can. These are signs that are now up in these churches. So pursuing the good, the true, the beautiful is pursuing what God wants of you. And it's a great way to break the dogma. And I'm so happy to hear that you're crushing, Monkish Bear. Yeah, because like being a monk is cool. It's like an honor. It's Veritas Bear was a monk. Rest in peace. I'm actually I relate a lot to the good monks, the ones that wanted to dedicate their life to a higher calling. And that's an honorable thing, but now it's a lower calling, in my opinion, because you're not allowed to speak the truth about God anymore in these institutions. You know, in some ways, I'm very monk-like. I literally live in exile in a barn, thinking about, you know, spells and how to help people get through spells. Hey, Owen J. Bear here. We just secured a Jersey cow for SoCal milk production at Provider Bear's place. Amazing. Where we host those monthly meetups. Question, what type of feed do you do for Dandy and Mandy? There's a local farm near me where we just get dairy feed. It's non-GMO, locally grown dairy feed. But we use, and we get bales of orchard grass, but you can do Timothy or alfalfa. They're pretty easy. I mean, don't get me wrong, they eat a lot. But I mean, a pasture, like an acre of a pasture would be awesome for them, and just supplement it with just cow feed. Just try and get it without GMOs in it. And do you have rules for your kids around the cows? We just want to be sure to do this right. Yeah. Don't have your kids around the cows. Our cows are really nice too, but they're so big that if you have like little kids, they can easily step on one and break their foot. So I just highly recommend not having kids around the cows ever. And it's not because the cow's going to attack them. It's just they're 1,500 pounds. All right. So that is going to be my morning stream. And this evening at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will open the mail and we can play music. And yeah, if there's any more super chats, I'll read them right now. But I think this could be kind of cool, where I stay focused, hit some stuff, and just go from, I forgot to do one thing. So Chris did a joke recently, and it sounded really familiar. So let's just take a quick look at who told it better. All right. And but this is a guy that's been accused of rape, statutory rape, through their Instagram when he was damn near 40. And I don't give a shit what the state laws are. That's disgusting. And any Family Guy identifies this dude as an app. It's one thing if you're banging a lot of chicks when you're single and hedonistic or whatever. I get it. But like 16, taking their virginity, like using your Hollywood status to get them to your shows and your hotel and all. Really dark, man. People that prey on vulnerableness and innocence are really dark in my book. That's like one step away from pedophilia. There is a difference. I'm not going to call Chris a pedophile because I believe that is a word that has to be used in extreme situations. It's prepubescent is what I think is a different category. And those people need to just be, and I think that's pretty obvious, that if somebody sexualizes someone that hasn't been through puberty, that is a different type of monster. What he's did and is doing, or what he admitted to, is really sick. And, but there, people call him a pedophile. I don't call him a pedophile. That word has to have a different thing. Like a 5-year-old or a 16-year-old is different. That being said, to groom and then just to bang and leave these girls is so fucking dark, man. It's one thing if it's like a 25-year-old girl who just got out of a relationship and she's out to have a good time and she's experienced and she knows what's, that's totally different. Don't get me wrong, that's still bad. I don't believe in hookup culture at all anymore, and I used to totally be a part of it. It's bad because it's wasting everyone's time and it's draining everyone's life force that could be going to families. When you're going after 16-year-olds on their Instagram page, you're a serious threat. And Patreon has no problem having a guy like him on there. No problem at all. All right. So anyway, let's see who told. And that's my opinion on the guy. He's not. I see no evidence he's a quote unquote pedophile, but he absolutely admitted to all this stuff, and that's really bad. It's very, very hard to justify that. Where you're like, okay, yeah, 16-year-old virgin. It's like, oh, it's legal in that state. It's like, legal to who? I don't give a shit what's legal or what's not legal. That's not how you base your morality. From the time I'm going to make a claim right now. I've never had sex with a teen. Even when I was a teen. I got some BJs when I was a teen. But I was never into that. I always thought they felt really young. Even when I was touring in my late 20s after being on House Bunny, never hooked up with college girls because they seem so young and vulnerable, and innocent is not sexy in those situations because you're bailing. So it's like you're just going to vampirically take their... I just think I'm crazy. And so he did the same thing to me with this joke. He pretty much... do I think he should be killed? No. Because you have to have a difference with the kid stuff. I mean, people are like, oh yeah, they know what they were getting into. Dude, 16-year-olds don't know what they're getting into. They're kids. Especially in this culture. Like, I know 30-year-olds that have the minds of 9-year-olds. They're like, I mean, oh my God, Omicron variant. Like, they're not capable of making decisions on their own. And being attracted to, like, really low-functioning, mentally low-functioning people is bad. Because he could have gotten any, like, hot 25-year-old he wanted that was, like, pays her own bills and doesn't want to be married but wants to get down, you know. Why the kids? Like, why the teens? It's crazy. Anyway, let's see who told it better.
Watch sports, but like I don't give like I would watch if it was real Bears versus real Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like.
By the way, did you guys hear that? He said you knew the same way that Jim Bob says it. He's like, you knew. Little scumbag. Anyway.
Watch sports, but like I don't give like I would watch if it was real Bears versus real Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like just Bears out there, just like rah, rah. Dolphins on the 20-yard line, just like I'd have NFL would have all my money. I'd have every package on DirecTV, all of it, man. Bears versus Lions. You wouldn't wait all year for that ferocious matchup? No, fuck that. That'd be way better, and you know it, man.
I like football, but the NFL, sorry guys, a little boring. You know, it's like the Minnesota Vikings against the New York Giants. I'm like, are they real Vikings? They're like, no. I'm like, are those guys bigger than the other teams? Are they Giants? They're like, no. And that's just like 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5, 4th and 5, punt, 1st and 10. I'm like, how is this more exciting than the Titanic hoax? I would watch football if it was called grappler football and it was real. If it was like... The Seattle Warhawks taking on the San Francisco Sodomites. Oh, there's a false flag in the plate. Now the shotgun offense is going to be made illegal. That's an encroachment of the Constitution. Here comes men superior than Rattlers. Oh, everybody's going to a gulag. Welcome to Grappler football, the only game where no one ever wins.
Okay, so again, so you see Chris D'Elia's joke.
Watch sports, but like I don't give like I would watch.
So mine was done obviously before his. It's not the most unique premise. I will say that. I believe it's 100% stolen because of the proximity and time. Do I think it's possible someone else thought of it? Yeah, it's not. But see, look at how much better mine is. Because they can't take the joke to where they have to go. Now they a bunch of 16-year-olds while they have a child with a nice woman, which is what he did. He had a chick at home. He's literally as many teens as he possibly can. Netflix has no problem with that. He's like, oh, they're like, yes, bring that. But Owen Benjamin said, but he's not, so he's not allowed to say that. Okay, so anyway, the good news about all this exile that I've received is I get to take the joke where it has to go. So you're going to go, oh, the Vikings against the Bears. I'd like to see actual Vikings against actual Bears. You know, way to go, man. I get it. It's funny. But mine was just a setup to the real joke, which is grabbler football. You know, on the 33-yard line, it's like Bitcoin toss at center field. It's like Joe Biden smelling Hillary Clinton's hair. There's been 15 suicides in the D section. You understand? It's like you got to take it to where the truth takes you. Okay? So Chris is not capable of that. And the thing that happened, and all that money, you know, all that money so you can get all those teens, is eventually the devil kicks you off his high horse. And you got nothing to stand on. Where's your art? So where's the real good jokes, Chris? You know, he does have a really good joke about sex addiction. About trying to get in that vagina and there's nothing in there. It's so true. And I relate to that. Where he's like, that's his best comedy is when he's honest about his addictions, which he has a horrifying sex addiction, and he likes the vulnerable. Okay, so don't let him around your kids. Not kids. That's unfair. Don't let him around the teens. So, because they can't really consent. At 16, oh, they can drive a car. No, they can't. They're idiots. They need to be protected. Now, if they got married, great. I believe consent is marriage. And I know that sounds really harsh. And I'm not judging you and saying you're going to hell or anything like that. But it's the only logical place. You know, all these Stephen that want to mock gays and mock sodomy and all that, the reason it doesn't work and he can't stand on anything is because he's acting like heterosexual hookup culture is okay, but sodomy's bad. You have to come from a logical position where, like, okay, so if a heterosexual is just banging a chick for pleasure and a gay guy's doing the same thing, what's your argument that yours is better? I can make an argument that the gays are more moral because they don't have abortions. Okay, you have to say that sex has to be between a married couple or else it's a sin. And sin just means a weakness. That's my stance, and it's not because I don't understand the joys of promiscuity. It's because you can't argue against child unless you come from I care so much about that shit, guys. Like, watching that public and open and praised child abuse, and a lot of you guys were with me on that journey, where I have to win that. I have to beat them. And there is no winning unless you say, you go all the way to the beginning and say, where did we go off course? And it can't be, oh yeah, well, we got to love, this is what all these loser, weak, I'm not going to call them fake Christians because that's a judgment, but these incredibly weak, cowardly Christians are saying, oh, well, we're told to love the gay. We're commanded to love the sin, hate the sin, love the sinner. That's not in the Bible, and we're not. Because then I say, okay, so what? A 20-year-old gay and an 18-year-old gay? That's cool, right? They're like, yeah, I mean, we're commanded to love. What if the other guy was 9? Are you commanded to love that? Oh, no, that's bad. 13. It's kind of bad. You have to have logic. So at what age, and then get love and respect from other Christians? Oh, yeah, no, we're supposed to love. We're supposed to love. There's no separation. It's about love and acceptance and tolerance. Okay, so then how do you reject pedophilia? It's just two dudes. One just happens to be 12, 5. What if someone identifies as 20, but they're 8? Oh, no, that's bad. Okay, so why isn't it bad if it's just banging? Okay, now why isn't it bad if you're hunting 16-year-olds and using your fame to take their virginity and never talk to them again? I'm not letting heterosexuals off the hook. That's one of the biggest missteps ever for Abrahamic Christianity. Where if you say, oh, okay, well, I'm straight, so I get a 16-year-old girl and never talk to her again. No. It has to be with a commitment. Sex has to come with a commitment, or else it's all in the same category. And I will not lose to pedophiles. If you say that it's okay to have consenting adults have random orgies and, okay, but then what's stopping the kids? Then what's stopping? Am I offended by seeing 2 30-year-old guys holding hands in a Miata? No, I don't. I have absolutely libertarian instincts. Understand that. I don't get triggered by that. I don't think like, oh, how dare you own this Miata and listen to Coldplay. And I'm like, it's gross to me, but I don't care. But I do care because I know that if that's permitted, then everything else is also permitted because you have no logical stance against it. That's why I care. Do I think a dude who likes Brad Pitt movies is the same level of descended evil psychosis? No, but I can't condemn one if I don't condemn the other, because then you're just making a hierarchy of sin. I really, really can't. The pedophiles will absolutely get social acceptance unless you have a clear and logical stance on sex. Because if you can sexualize a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old, even a 12, it's not even about age. If you can say, listen, I just want a girl and never talk to her again, and she's okay with that, you know, I gave her some money. It's like, oh, but it's really bad to be a pedophile. The pedophile goes, me and you, and here's the sickest part. When the pedophile says, you know what, we're not that different. You like that she had, that she was, you know, smiley and kind of full of love and giggly and happy. She wasn't this worn down, you know, barfly. You like a more a little spunky, like 22, 23, like, you know, maybe been with a guy or two, but what? It's like, yeah, well, I'm the same way. It's just I like them, okay? You can't argue that unless you say, I'm not going to take her innocence either. There is no consent with an age. There's only a consent with commitment. And honoring the woman, providing for the woman, giving the woman children. Metaverse, they're way into pedo acceptance. Pedo acceptance is already here. People just won't admit it. Because of the amount of perversion with people watching porn and having all these, accepting homosexuality, accepting pansexuality, accepting that anything goes, who am I to judge, and not that there's anything wrong with it. There is something wrong with it. And you get to a point when you really, I actually care. I'm not posturing. I'm not standing on a soapbox so people think I'm a good guy because I go against trans kids. I lost millions of dollars, tons of friends. You know, my family was put through hell, attacked by the global media. They still come at me for the same reason, because I named a guy doing that to his kid. I publicly took a stand against it. And the next day I lost all my gigs and my agent and my manager. And so people want to be like, oh, cry a river. I'm like, I'm happy, dude. I get to have a good conscience. But I actually care. I don't want to live in a world where people say, oh, my 3-year-old identifies as a girl, so we're going to put hormone blockers in him. Okay, so how do I get to make the claim that that's evil? The only way is if I say what is not evil. What is not evil is when sex is based around commitment to the good, the true, the beautiful. If you extract energy, love, sex, whatever it is, if you are extracting pleasure from another human being because of their freshness, their innocence, whatever it is, I don't care if it's a 20-year-old girl at a bar, all right? It's not as bad to do it with a 20-year-old girl at the bar, but it's the same idea. And that's why these pedophiles are getting so confident and bold. Minor attracted persons. Oh, pedophiles need rights too. Oh, trans rights, queer rights. Hey, because unless you make a claim what is good, they're right. What is different? What, 16, 17? So on her 18th birthday, but the day before you couldn't? But in Louisiana, you can at 16. What about 15? What about 12? What about 13? What if she was drunk? What if she was didn't know she was being filmed? You understand? You have to like be able to say what it is. So this is what my claim is. Post-pubescent, because somebody before puberty cannot be seen as a sexual being. And with the commitment of marriage, that is what's appropriate for sex. And you have to have at least the potential of biological child creation. It's not because I'm disgusted by, it's not because I can't be around dudes in a Miyagi concert. I don't care. My instinct is anarcho-capitalism. My instinct is let people do whatever they want. The harsh reality of that is that accepts pedophilia. And I will not be in a nation that accepts pedophilia. I started my own nation because I won't be a part of that. I won't be in their sick nation if their nation says, do as thou wilt is the entirety of the law. No. And I understand the argument for pedophilia because it's the same argument that Chris has for 16-year-olds. They're fresh. They're more innocent. They have more life in them. They're more connected. Yeah, because they haven't been parasitically sucked dry. That's why Chris D'Elia isn't banging the 45-year-old, barfly, after the 3 divorces going, yeah, kid, because it's not as exciting for them. They want somebody that still has love in their eyes and prana in their heart, and they want to extract from it. You understand? So the pedophile just says, oh yeah, me too. I want to be so in their head and heart that they never forget me and that I shape who they are. And I take away their innocence when they're 8. And then the one who just likes the 18-year-old, barely legal pornos is like, oh, how dare you? It's the same thing. That's why I'm so against it. That's why I say don't watch porn. That's why I say don't have hookup sex. Don't accept your identity with sodomy. Because that path is merely a range of how close to pedophilia are you. Or can you make a stand, a statement, and say, not only am I not on that spectrum, this is what I believe. And so that's, okay, that's a little bit, that's just what I believe. Watching Chris D'Elia do my jokes badly, I just really felt about really explaining that. And why it's not cool. It's not cool to groom a 16-year-old and have all these people be like, she knew what she was doing. We live in a world where feminism allows them. I'm not a feminist. I didn't think you were either, bro. Women do not have the same strength as men. Women should not be, drafted for war. I don't believe women should vote for politicians. Hey, how dare you? They have to be protected. They don't have the same disposition as men. And it's not because I hate women. It's because I want to protect them from this hell. They're not supposed to do this. They're not supposed to go out to a bar and have 3 drinks and make all the decisions. Oh, I know. There's a reason I know this. The reason I've been through this. Mine was much less evil than Chris D'Elia's because I was always hooking up with women that was more in my realm. Kind of like trash floating in the breeze. Not a care in the world. If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. I was never drawn to innocence. That's crazy. Yes, we need protection from ourselves as well. 100%. You need strong leadership. Women are not supposed to be out at bars making decisions on who they take their pills and then they abort and then they have their debt and they try to be a mom where they're never home and they feel like a failure so they take more pills. That is the hatred of women. And I'm actually not a feminist. Not one of these like, oh, well, women aren't pushing this shit. It's perverts. Women don't know what they want half the time. When they're like, oh, I get that. I see them as tragic children. They don't know. They don't know what they're missing out on. Look at my wife. Look at her life. Every woman would rather have that, with the exception of a few highly traumatized ones that have to continuously loop their trauma. I know those girls do. But any sane woman would rather be my wife on her own homestead, caring for children all day, caring for animals, knitting, getting supported by her super intense husband who believes in what he's doing. She's healthy, happy. It's like, that's the move. I don't like her driving alone at night. Oh, controlling much? No, I protect her. I drive her at night. That isn't hatred. That's love. All right, final super chats. Dear Owen, slapped Weasel once years ago now. Verify my very weird bear name. What was me thinking? What was he thinking? Can you finally do it? I think it's time. Thank you. I'll send a letter in 2022. Much love to the Smith family and COD. Thank you very much. Roly Poly Bear, good morning, and your streams are always on point. Currently getting kicked out of the military for not taking the jabby jab. This should be fun. Keep crushing. Yeah, you made the right decision. You should do your exemptions, though. Do your religious exemption. Don't quit. And do your exemptions. Have them say in writing that as a Christian, you have to take a jab. They're breaking natural law, God's law with that. Put it on them. Don't quit. But if they kick you off of that, you're being kicked out of hell. You're being saved. You're on the right path for that, and that is very cool that you did that. Morning, Big Bear. The geopolymer tests have worked. We're ready to build castles. Yes, and Jack, Frontline's Jack Bear recently had a beautiful baby. Very happy for you. Nathaniel, huge thanks for what you do. I'm crushing compared to 5 years past. Doing some challenges with some bears, and dang, always so much to get better at. As I shared with one of them, so fractal. Anyway, much love to you and yours. Unbelievable to what we can accomplish. NATO Bear, indeed. And don't get in debt. I know that sometimes you can look at my life and see like a really nice chicken coop and you're like, oh, it'll pay itself off. I can do the met. Just keep it simple. Don't get in debt. That's all I'm saying. Always stay simple. I've been at this a long time now. And, you know, I like to set things up where you guys can see really cool shit with homesteading, but keeping it simple and keeping it out of debt is the move. You know, microgreens on the windowsills, 3 chickens, 5 chickens. You don't need 100 chickens. All right. Nebraska Bear here on pointest of streams. Please try and share my letter live if available. The sinks flow like gravy. Yeah, so tonight I'll do 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And don't think I don't know about lust or promiscuity or being in that realm. I was in it for 15 years straight. I get it. That's why I'm passionate about this. And it's not because I'm like, oh, he doesn't want us to have any fun, but he got to have all the fun with all those BJs. A, I didn't have a lot of BJs because BJs are for retards. And B, no, I'm trying to help you not waste your life. Like, you know, I'm grateful for every bit of my life because if I wasn't in that zone and I wasn't where I was, I wouldn't have met Amy, the love of my life, the mother of my children. But guys, you don't have to go down that. It's sad. It's a sad existence. The reprobate behavior is sad. I'm trying to help people not waste their time. My religious exemption is still pending. Been 3 weeks. They're just rubbing their hands. Yeah, don't quit and you know, file your religious exemptions. It's great. You could level up. It's awesome. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. If you want to support the stream, P.O. Box 490, Sandpoint, Idaho 83864, unauthorized.tv. And we will be doing pre-order for the magazine soon, which is very exciting. OwenBenjamin.com for all the links. Unbearablesmedia.com. If you want to get my wife's sourdough towel, they're selling quite well, which is unbelievable. I got my exemption on. It's like, hey, well, you don't think women should work? My wife was a big, no pun intended, breadwinner this month, but it was something she was passionate about that she just did from home. I don't want them in cubicles in debt. That's insane. That's the hatred of women. Etsy.com/shop/DaisyLove13. All right, guys. See you at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be fruitful, multiply. Don't